I should probably click stop recording.
Yeah, probably.
Hello, welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. I am back. Yeah, took a bit of time off, went on holiday, but it's nice to talk about the IPL again. Lots happened. We're talking about a loss today for RCB, which is sad for me. But we're also talking about a very comfortable victory that the Lucknow Super Giants had over Sunrisers Hyderabad. So lots to get into. Let's start with the RCB game because chronologically that came first. James, before I get into it, because I've got a lot that I want to talk about when it comes to RCB. Before we get into that, what were your overall thoughts / summary of the game?
Okay, so obviously KKR batted first, and they were in a real spot of bother. David Willey, who I was texting Benji at the same time, and I was saying that I can't think of a player that can win you a game and lose you a game more than David Willey, with both bat and ball, really. And then Shardul Thakur showed up and reminded me that he exists. But yeah, he started things off really, really well. 2 wickets and 2 balls. And yeah, like at the point where KKR were 89 for 5, they were absolutely reeling. And I was like, this is an absolute walkover. RCB are going to absolutely smash them. And then I remembered that RCB, other than Harshal Patel, have no death bowling. So if he's having a bad day, there is literally nothing to stop the Lord Thakur from teeing off. So those were like those are my initial thoughts that I'm going to get out now, and now I'm going to kind of let you loose,
Okay.
set you free, and just talk about this game.
Well, it was a really good start, and RCB have the first 10 overs nailed down. They've got a plan. It seems like they've got great intensity in the field. Everything seems to work, and then it gets to about the 10th over, and they kind of forget what to do. The bowlers forget how to bowl, sort of thing. That's the way it seems, because we had it in the last game against Mumbai, where Mumbai should have got like 130 and they ended up 180. In this game, Kolkata would have done well to get to 150 and they ended up on 200, which shows how RCB have struggled in those last overs. It's not even the death overs, it's the overs leading up to the death as well, which is costing us. Because in this game, 5 for 89, Kolkata Knight Riders have a bit of a long tail. Sun and Ryan coming in at 8, Umesh Yadav at 9. We know Sun and Ryan can bat every now and then, but still, it is a long tail, and RCB shouldn't have let them get up to that score. And I think part of the problem is there were a lot of decisions that RCB made with the batting as well, which they confused me. For example, when Shardul Thakur came in, Shahbaz Ahmed, he's bowled 1 over, gone for 6 runs. He's a left arm orthodox. He's a good bowler. He knows the conditions and he can turn it away from the right-handed Thakur. Whereas instead, we bowled Michael Bracewell, who's a right arm off spinner, not as familiar with the conditions, bowling it into Thakur, who favors the leg side boundary. So it seems like surely it would have been more, if you want to bowl spin to him, to bowl the left arm option.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think that makes even less sense when you think about who was in at the same time as well, because it was Rinku Singh, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was with him, and yeah, I thought that he was playing Bracewell pretty well. I get that he's the left-hander, he was the set batter, they wanted to get him out, but I don't know. I completely agree. You try to target the weaker batter in a lot of situations, and yeah, I mean, it's easy to say now, like looking back,
definitely.
But for KKR, to say they've got a weak side this year, I think any KKR fan will admit that they've got a poor quality side. They will be doing well to win many games, and with their side, to say that 3 batters batted well and got them up to 204, they should take that and run.
Mhm.
You know, that's very, very useful, because Ramanullah Gurbaz was outstanding. He,
Played
for
very well.
me, would have been man of the match in any other situation if it wasn't for the Lord Thakur. I thought Rinku Singh paced his innings really well. Like, he stopped an absolute capitulation and turned it into a winning score. But yeah, Shardul Thakur showed the absolute impetus. But what I say with death bowling is, you're right. Like, it is almost from the 10th, 11th over that RCB lose it. It's
Yeah.
when batters take the game to their bowlers. They have no answers, really.
Mm.
And it just shows how much they miss somebody like Yuzvendra Chahal in the old RCB,
Yeah.
or Wanindu Hasaranga da Silva.
Who is coming back
He's coming soon, but not soon
soon.
enough. Like,
No.
you're desperate for him at this point.
Yeah. I know Khan Sharma has bowled really well, and has been really good in these last 2 games. And in a way, he allows for that balance. If Khan Sharma plays, then RCB can afford to play David Willey as well, and maybe even another overseas player in Finn Allen, who at the top of the order, well, even at number 3, would provide RCB with a much greater batting depth and not rely too much on Duplessis, Kohli, and Maxwell. That provides an extra sort of option there. So playing Khan Sharma does help the balance. However, Wanindu Hasaranga is a great leg spinner. He's great in those 11 to 15 over. He can even bowl well at the death. Batters struggle to face him. So he's going to be an awesome option when he comes in. Josh Hazlewood as well. He will return at some point, probably mid to late April. But we obviously need to win a few games before he returns.
Yeah.
And we can't rely on him to fix it.
I've also heard that, obviously, because Topley is now out, sadly, with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, Wayne Parnell's been drafted in.
Yeah, Wayne Parnell, who, he's a handy lower order hitter, as he showed in the SA20, and a decent death bowler.
Yeah.
So he could also solve some problems. Because I don't think it's your power play bowling that's the problem.
No, definitely not.
Power play bowling is looking really good. It's definitely the death and the middle overs.
There is another option as well, which I'd be interested to hear the people who follow this very closely in the comments below. But Siddharth Kaul was the top wicket taker in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, and he is in the RCB squad. He also bowled at the death for Punjab in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, and his overall economy rate is less than 7. So he's an option who could come in, and maybe he could help in those death overs, because Siraj bowling well up front, I don't think he should really deviate from that. David Willey is also a good option up front. Akashdeep, not so certain on him yet.
He would be who I'd swap out.
So maybe bringing in Siddharth Kaul would be an interesting option. But should we go to the RCB batting innings? Because
it won't take long.
No, it wasn't long at all. But again, some very interesting decisions, like Harshal Patel coming in at number 5. Probably some form of right hand, left hand combination rubbish there. And then Anuj Rawat, who came in as the impact player, carded in at number 8 when he's a top order batsman. Like, why didn't he bat at 3 instead of Michael Bracewell, who's probably at best a number 7? That is just weird decisions. And then Akashdeep, who is technically a bowling all-rounder, he's got a high score in 2020 cricket as 60, batting at 11, and seemed to be the only person who looked good.
I think RCB couldn't have overthought it more if they tried.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Like, I mean, we saw with Rajasthan when they lost to Punjab Kings, because that happened. Do you remember? Punjab Kings won. And
it's
they
still in my brain.
Yeah. So Rajasthan, they completely overthought the left-hand, right-hand thing, and they ended up sticking Ravi Ashwin at the top of the order when chasing 200 plus, or maybe just shy of 200, but still. And yeah, I think RCB almost had the same thing. Like these teams get so obsessed with left hand, right hand when it's really useful, very good metric, and like as in there are lots of stats to back it up. However, don't just stick bad, like worse quality batters up top when there are people more suited to different positions, because positions is also a really important thing.
Definitely.
And I think they also got psyched out because Bracewell scored that. It was probably an Uncle 100 at best in the warm up game for
Yeah.
RCB, and as we've seen, if you're scoring 100 against RCB's bowling, all you need to do is get through the first few overs, and then it's 3 runs. So it probably wasn't, it probably isn't saying that much about his batting. I think he's good, but yeah, I just think RCB really overthought it.
Yeah.
But mystery spin, that
They did
absolutely tore through.
they bowled very well. I mean, Varun Chakravarti, he had a struggle last season, but this season, I think he's found his lengths again. And when he gets those lengths, you don't know where the ball's going really. And he was turning it square, and that's why he got so many bowled. He just beat the batsman through the gate, and they weren't able to get to the pitch of it effectively. And we know Sunil Narine, he's like that anyway. He's got very good lengths. And so yeah, it was very, very hard for the RCB players. I thought we didn't play Suyash Sharma, who's a very inexperienced, but he's not played any cricket really,
I
like
don't think he's got a
a
single
professional
game
standard.
on Cricket Info,
No,
does he?
I think he bowled well, but he didn't bowl at his figures of 3 for 30.
Yeah, I
Like,
reckon
credit to him, but
I could have
yeah,
bowled some tweakers on, and our RCB would have given me a couple of
yeah,
wickets there.
yeah. So it was class bowling from KKR, confusing stuff from RCB from about the 11th over in their bowling innings, for the rest of the game. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we bounce back from that. We're back at home for another 5-6 games on the bounce. So it's interesting to see. But KKR deserved win.
Yeah. Now let's move on to Sunrisers versus Super Giants, because how wrong have we been? Like,
Very.
we thought that Sunrisers were going to absolutely walk this tournament. I mean, not walk it, but we thought that they
Yeah.
looked like the strongest batting side in the tournament, and they've been terrible so far. Granted, we're 2 games in, so maybe we shouldn't judge them, too harshly or whatever.
No.
To say that between the 2 games, they haven't managed to score above, well, they've scored about 250 runs in both games. It's not great.
No.
It's really not good.
I think part of the issue is Mayank Agarwal not firing at the top of the order. I think having him in at the top of the order was to provide a bit of stability, and I think he's low on form at the moment. You can see it in the way he's playing his shots, and I think they need him to make a score to provide the rest of the batting a bit of confidence. Rahul Tripathi looked quite good at number 3. I know it was slow and scratchy, but they almost needed that from him and Anmolpreet Singh. However, they've got Aidan Markram and Harry Brook in that middle order. They are where all the runs are going to come from. And in my mind, they should both be 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And Rahul Tripathi should open in my head. That's the way I see it, because you want your best batsman facing as many balls as possible. So for me, you want Agarwal, Tripathi, Markram, Brook, and if Agarwal's low on form, Anmolpreet Singh, who looked good, maybe him playing instead, because they've got the finishers with Abdul Samad and Washington Sundar. So it's whether Harry Brook and Markram, they should bat a bit higher in my head.
I don't know. I'm a bit stuck with it, because I personally think that because I've followed the side Mushtaq Ali a little bit.
Yeah.
And obviously, Anmolpreet Singh is a Punjabi boy, and so is Abhishek Sharma, who was dropped for his fellow Punjabi compatriot. And losing words there. And Yeah, I do think that it was bad to drop Abhishek Sharma. I think he's a very, very, very good player. And if you're going to drop him, send him to Punjab. Like, we would be delighted to have him in at 3. But I agree that Agarwal has been low on form. He's done all right domestically, but as in, in the kind of season running up to the IPL. But
Yeah.
last IPL, he obviously had a stinker, and I think he's playing like he has a point to prove, which he kind of does.
Yeah.
Raul Tripathi opening, I don't know. I just don't know.
He's done it in the past.
He has done it in the past, but I think he's had his best performances in at 3, hasn't he?
Okay.
So potentially a move could be to put Aidan Markram in at the top instead of Agarwal, having Anmolpreet Singh in at kind of 5, and having Abhishek Sharma up top, or Abhishek Sharma in the middle order, or sacking off Sharma, keeping Singh, but just having Markram at top, Tripathi 3, and then Brook. And I would also, have kind of liked to see an appearance from Heinrich Klaassen.
Yeah.
Because obviously they need the batting. And how many overseas did they play? It was Aidan Markram, Harry Brook, and Adil Rashid.
Yeah, they didn't have the fourth one. So why not?
Sorry, they did play Fazal Haq Faruqi in the second
Oh,
inning.
yeah.
The impact player. But and he bowled well. He has been bowling well. But realistically, looking at the last game, it isn't the bowling that's necessarily the biggest issue for Sunrisers. And when you've got informed batters such as Markram, not that you'd know with a first bowler, and Heinrich Klaassen and Harry Brook, not that you'd know again, then you gotta get all the batting depth that you can in there, I think.
All it takes is a 50 from them, and you'd be like, oh yeah, Sunrisers have their batting sorted. And Harry Brook, it's apparent that he's got a leg spin issue. He struggled against Chahal in the last game. He struggled against Ravi Bishnoi in this game. Has been outfoxed twice now, and they spent a lot of money on him. They need him to come good. So he's got a little issue that he needs to fix there, because when you play in the IPL, you're going to see a lot of mystery spin. You're going to see a lot of leg spin, and he won't have grown up with that. Because in England,
you don't get much mystery spin in Yorkshire.
He might have got a bit of facing Rayan Ahmed and Adil Rashid, and that's about it. He's not faced the likes of Rashid Khan. Well, the PSL, you've got a bit of that. But yeah, it's a little bit different in the IPL. It's a lot more mystery spin rather than the express pace that you get in the PSL. So an interesting one for Sunrisers to think about. Krunal Pandya bowled very well. Amit Mishra, he's looking for a next hat trick. He's taken so many in the IPL. I think he's just going to play and play until he gets another one. But yeah, he's always done well. So good bowling from Lucknow Supergiants. And I thought Sunrisers actually bowled all right, because they've got a very good bowling lineup. It's just they didn't have the runs. And I think this innings was built for a KL Rahul runner ball knock, wasn't it, really?
Honestly, this is the kind of game where after it, KL Rahul will say, see, strike rates don't matter.
Yeah.
But, that is what it is. He's got to kind of be in his bonnet about it. But yeah, no, they put it away very nicely. Again, Krunal playing a vital role. He was a really good all-round performance today from him. Yeah, just no problems. It was very, very easy going. I think as a Lucknow fan, you'd be pretty calm knowing that, like, even when like Romario Shepherd goes out, you've got Nick Pooran to come in.
Yeah,
it's calm. So yeah, it was good to see. Good performances from both sides in the bowling. Better performance from Lucknow with the batting.
Yeah.
But where does Sunrisers go from here? I do not know. And I think you need to let us know in the comments. What is your ideal Sunrisers lineup? Like, how do they fix it? Also, how should they play? Should they be going more aggressive? Should they be having somebody operate as more of an anchor so they can guarantee some runs because their bowling seems to be working? I don't know.
Their bowling's great.
Yeah, so please do let us know in the comments. I think that's all we've got time for. I don't think we had any cricket news questions. If we did, sorry. Please send them in, and we will definitely check for the next episode.
Definitely.
You can follow our social medias. It's all in the link tree down in the description. You can also join our fantasy leagues. It's probably not too late. I had Kyle Mayers as captain, I think.
I picked Mark Wood instead of Krunal Pandya.
Yeah, I had Mark Wood in. So, you know,
that worked
mistakes have been made. So you can still catch up in the fantasy league. Plenty of games to catch up with. We've also started a county championship fantasy league. So, yeah, join that as well. First games are currently ongoing. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.